Hello, my adoring audience. A former regressor here with Tokyo Afterschool Summoners, Chapter 15, Invitation to the Future 2. What kind of person is our guildmaster, you ask? Like I said, he's basically the weakest person in Asakusa. Even I've only just started to realize what he's really all about, though. Or I think I have, anyway. Guess I'll tell you a little more about him. His name's Sanzo Minorikawa. Long time ago, the Asakusa neighborhood was about as rough as it gets. I mean, it is home to a school for rough and tumble beasts whose rules can tear the heavens, part the seas, and shake the earth. But even us Tokyo locals would pull out our sacred artifacts, and simple fights would turn into all-out turf wars. Don't think I need to even explain just how bad things could get though, do I? It's kind of what you'd expect when you bring together a bunch of powers that seem like they jumped right out of fairy tales. But yeah, as the number of ill-tempered transients grew and grew, so too did the fights, both in number and intensity. Living through that back then felt like I'd hopped aboard a runaway train every day, without knowing where it was headed. Worse still, some of us seemed like we just couldn't die, so the fights kept on getting bigger and nastier. And our guild was seen in a real negative light, even more than it is today. But at the time, I didn't care. None of us did, I'd wager. We just accepted that regular citizens looked down on us app users. Figured they were jealous because they couldn't use rules. And in those days, we were all over the place. No shot our guild would ever forge alliances or work together with anyone else. It was around that time when he showed up. Sanzo Minorikawa. I'm not sure if it was bad luck or bad timing, but he always got himself caught up in whatever tussle we had going down. He was like a magnet for those with ill intent, always seemed to be right at the center of any incident. And after seeing this happen over and over, we all kind of started to wonder why he never fought back. He should be able to use the app same as any of us, we thought. He must have a rule to fall back on. Yet no matter how much punishment he took, he never used his sacred artifact on us. Eventually, people started talking, seeing him in a new light, saying he's got guts, suggesting he played the fool on purpose in order to bring us together and help us resolve our disputes. This led some to conclude that the reason he never fought back was that he knew his own strength and didn't want to hurt us. Literally, basically King from One Punch Man. And after a time, we actually stopped fighting. Well, that's an exaggeration. But we at least stopped fighting as much. Because it was frustrating to be shown up by this random interloper, you know? To have someone else be the bigger man. After all, if we're using our rules against somebody who doesn't use his, that's just a bad look all around. Nobody wanted that. Before long, we wound up actually hanging out with him. Ain't nobody closer to you than a longtime rival, I guess. Slowly but surely, he began earning the respect of everybody else in the neighborhood too. He was being accepted, And well, one thing led to another, and that's how the Asakusa Gurus came to be. It wasn't until much further down the line that I realized, wait, he really is just weak, huh? His true nature is that of an idiot, a lecher, a charlatan, a troublemaker, basically just a real piece of work. Which makes sense when you realize just how useless his sacred artifact is, not just in battle, but in general. He unwittingly sticks his neck out and gets caught in all kinds of crossfire, or is just unlucky enough to wander into it. But he's always been too scared to say anything, and we all just chose to take that in a way that made him larger than life. Silence is golden, as they say. Wise words, those. Sometimes you're better off not being able to do something. Sometimes you're better off just keeping your mouth shut. Either way, I got to know what an idiot he is, and he got to know what an idiot I am, and we've been friends ever since. Vital signs are stable. Patient is ready for surgery, Professor. Yeah, I hate pain. Please don't hurt me, okay? Promise you won't. Relax. We have no intention of taking a scalpel to that vessel you were born into. Rather, we're more interested in removing the part of you that came after. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? We will be performing surgery on the external memory storage device you've cultivated over time. Your sacred artifact. Confirm the pathway to the subject's sacred artifact, commencing injection of future memories. What? It's at this moment that Sanzo Minarikawa feels his consciousness simultaneously slipping away and being accelerated in an entirely new direction. He's not sure where it's headed exactly. He just knows that it's headed there fast, and it's only getting faster by the moment. Now then, Professor Anyankopan, I shall attend to the subject's wayward spirit. If you please. That is something only you can do, after all, Baphomet. Then let us commence. Deeper and deeper still. Yeah. Huh? Where am I? In the blink of an eye, Sanzo finds himself standing in what is recognizably Tokyo, but in a part of the city he's not familiar with. Though he has no way of knowing this, what he's seeing is exactly the same as what you once saw. Specifically, it's the same location where you first met the transient girl who calls herself Quantum. This is Tokyo's future, just as you will see it one day. Well, you scared me. Baphomet, was it? As I said, I am in charge of post-surgical psychological care. That is why I have accompanied you on this journey. So tell me, has anything caught your eye thus far? Well, not exactly, but like... This is Tokyo's future? This mess? Indeed, or to put it more accurately, this is the future that awaits you as things are now. It is a memory of what should be your future under the current circumstances. In this future vision, there is only stillness. There is no sense of human works in progress, not a single trace of the breath of life. There are only robots to be seen, all of which appear to be broken down and weather-beaten. I have passed through many subjects' memories in my time, and the vast majority have been like this. Humanity has no future in Tokyo. I kind of want to know what the minority's memories were like. Yeah, right. How far in the future did you take me? 5.6 billion years? The hell could have possibly happened to have caused this? I'm sure your mind is already providing countless possible answers to that question. The true answer, however, lies within that app you all use. Its reach, its install base keeps growing and growing, does it not? Well, Tokyo continues to take in new transients left and right. And as I'm sure everyone already knows, if transients and app users become the majority, the battle zone will undergo a change. A fundamental change. The minority will become the majority, and rules will cement themselves as part of Tokyo's reality. This will result in more and more outlandish things becoming achievable within Tokyo by way of these rules. Rules to make gold out of nothing, to alter the weather, to achieve eternal youth, to change one's gender, to take control of others, to fuse with others, to make imagined lands real and rule over them, to turn back time. All of these and more, many more, achievable acts may increase in number exponentially. The most extreme aspects of the belief systems from every world will combine and increase the bounds of human imagination. This will give rise to wiser, more adept beings, at which point the role of humans will be finished. For humans simply don't have it in them to even conceive of possibilities beyond what is to await them in this future. What you're describing is a point of no return then. A point that the timeline mustn't reach before the loop begins anew. For otherwise, things will accelerate at a speed those in charge who keep the rules at bay simply can't match. And we world representatives would only be able to watch as all governing bodies and every other form of power failed to keep up. World Representative Yoritomo glumly sums up the situation to Tanitomo, who's come to give a full mission briefing. And then the app, and new rules with it, will begin spreading like wildfire throughout Tokyo. It is a grave prospect for such power to slip through my own fingers and spread to the masses. World Representative Perry vexedly sums up the situation to Masanori, who's come to give a full mission briefing. So it's because the app spread that Tokyo wound up like this? Not quite. The spread of the app more just sped up the process. Baphomet responds almost excitedly, somewhat failing to hide their true feelings. Humans always seek to expand their capabilities, even if it means losing sight of who they are. Or not having the faintest clue how to use the technology that's rapidly advancing all around them. Honestly, to be so unaware of one's own identity, does that not strike you as the height of folly, Sanzo? But do not misunderstand me, for you see I love humans in all their ignorance. As ultimately, I am no different than they. I too do not understand who I truly am, Sanzo. Am I male or female? What is my true nature? And am I human? Am I a devil? Or am I perhaps a god? Baphomet places one hand on their chest and the other on their stomach and proceeds to just smile.